Hi guys, my name's Cindy. I'm doing this video to explain the exact process that Zinzino chooses to put their oils through, and also how they extract the fish oil from the fish themselves, and how that kind of looks in the marketplace and what makes it so different to every other fish oil out there on the market. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the other oils out there, other fish oils that I would consider as bad oils. And I'm not saying all of them, but there are definitely bad oils out there that literally cover up and mask their processes through manipulation and clever marketing. And they are literally able to put whatever they like on the actual packaging. They've got massive marketing budgets to make their product look amazing, and also using words to be able to trick you into thinking that maybe a process that isn't so great. They can actually use words to make you believe that the process is actually a good choice, when in fact it's all about making money, and it's also like a cheaper way of doing it, and it's not good for us. Okay, so that's why I wanted to also bring that up for you, just to make sure that you are aware of other products out there and how they compare to products that are doing the right thing. Okay, and I truly believe as a nutritionist that Zinzino is doing the right thing with their process. Alright, and the decisions that they make. It's not the cheapest way to do things, it's actually quite an expensive way to do things, and I'm going to explain that process for you right now. Okay, so let's start off. We actually use, in terms of the fish that we use, is small fish. Okay, so you'll find like sardines and mackerel are the main sources of fish that we use for the fish oil. Okay, and they're all sourced in waters that are approved by Friends of the Sea, so they're responsibly sourced, and also the water is checked regularly to make sure that it's unpolluted as possible. Okay, so Zinzino are big on that, to make sure that the oils are coming from the fish that is from waters that are unpolluted as much as we possibly can. Okay, because we are living in this century, and unpolluted waters are hard to come by these days. But at least you know that we're looking for the most unpolluted out there. Okay, now after that, basically what the fish go through, we steam the fish. Okay, so this is the process on how to extract the oils from the fish. The fish gets steamed, but to a point where it's almost cooked, not entirely cooked. Okay, and then it's put under pressure. And this is the meat of the fish as well, so not all the bones, just the meat. And this is how we get the crude oil, and crude oil is where all the vitamins and minerals are kept. Okay, so if you're not getting the crude oil, you're actually missing out on the vitamins and minerals, which are a crucial part of why we even do what we do, why we even have a supplement. There's no point even having a supplement without the vitamins and minerals, right? Okay, and then it gets analysed for contaminants, and that's in Iceland. Okay, so once all of that goes through, all that process happens, then it gets sent to Iceland, where our factory is. Alright, so what you might find, the other products out there that say that they're cold pressed, things like that, they're really that sounds good, right? We think that cold pressed is actually great, that's a good thing, but in fact you're missing out on the vitamins and minerals because you're not getting access to the crude oil, as I just explained before. Alright, so our factory is then in Iceland, so the fish, the whole company Zinzino is from Norway, and the fish are sourced around the Atlantic Oceans, Norway, Scandinavia, where all the good fish are, basically. And then they are sent, once the oil is processed, then it's sent to Iceland, and that is where it's thoroughly analysed for contaminants, and then it goes through the whole process. Okay, so there's a 4-step process the oil goes through once the oil has been extracted from the fish. Okay, this is what happens in Iceland. But first of all, unfortunately, the factory that we use actually did burn down a few years ago, so they actually had to rebuild it and put in brand new equipment and machines, which is fortunate for us because all of our machines are brand spanking new, and the factory is very modern as well, so everything is crispy, sparkling clean. All right. Okay, so let's explain the 4-step process that the fish oil then goes through to make Zinzino Balance Oil. Okay, so number 1, we go through neutralization, which is using a chemical called caustic acid, which is also known as sodium hydroxide. Okay, so this is a natural chemical, and it's used to clean the product. We need to make sure that we're alkalizing it and making sure that it's clean. Okay. Number 2, it then goes through a bleaching process. Okay, so this is a very light bleaching process, and this is bleaching with blends of bleaching earth and activated carbon. Okay, so activated carbon is actually used in edible oil for bleaching to remove contaminants prior to consumption, so that you know that the product is safe. Okay, so obviously the most purest form of eating or getting in these oils is from the sea. If you were to go fishing yourself and catch some mackerel or some sardines and then just eat them yourself, that is the purest form. But again, living in today's century, today's times, there is pollution, there are things that are just not as safe to consume as we think that, as they once were. Okay, so this is a cleaning process. Step number 3 is called winterization. Okay, so this is a type of fractionation, It's also known as fractionate crystallization. All right, so this is literally all about the clarity of the oil. So we want to get it as clear as olive oil at this process, okay? Because the murky oils aren't as appealing. If it was more looking murky and swampy, people are less likely to be appealing. It's less appealing to the eye and for human consumption, basically. All right, so this is all about separating the triglycerides. Okay, now step number 4 is called deodorization. This is literally just removing the fishy oil and the fishy taste, because we don't like that in our fish oil. Go figure, right? It's just the way that people are. They don't like their fish oil tasting or smelling like fish oil. Okay, so we do go through that process, and therefore our natural flavors do dominate the oil, so that you're not left with that after fishy taste. You're left with a nice fruity kind of zest taste. Okay, now that is the process the oil goes through, and then what we do is we blend it with a high quality, high antioxidant, rich in polyphenol olive oil. Okay, so we use an olive oil from Spain. It's from a little green olive, which is the type of oil is called Pickle olive. Okay, so, and we actually pick that 3 to 4 weeks prior the harvesting period. Okay, so it's a little bit premature in terms of when it's supposed to be picked, and that is when the antioxidants and the polyphenols are at its highest point in the fruit. Okay, so polyphenols are antioxidants, and they are literally, their sole purpose is to protect. And the reason why you blend it in with the olive oil, in with the fish oil, is to protect the fish oil and to protect ourselves. Okay, because consuming polyphenols and antioxidants is very, very good for us. And, you know, foods these days have a lot less polyphenols in them than they once did, just because of mass production and manufacturing, and just the way that the foods are actually grown these days. They just don't have as many. So we only source it from this one place, and this one actual olive that we choose it from, and it is the highest percentage of polyphenols. All right, so just to put it into perspective for you, the comparison in terms of measurements of polyphenols inside of our olive oil compared to the olive oil that you'll see on the supermarket shelves is outstanding. Like, this is what I'm going to give you, these stats here. Okay, so we have 750 milligrams per kilo of antioxidants in our olive oil compared to 50 milligrams per kilo in the olive oil that you find on the supermarket shelves. Now, you can do your own research on this if the label actually tells you what is in there and if it actually states the level of polyphenols and also the level of antioxidants. If it doesn't, then you might need to dig a little bit further, because it's something that I need to put on the actual label. Okay, so, you know, you might want to just dig that little bit deeper online. Okay, so that's outstanding. That's a massive difference. So that is why we do it that way. It's obviously a lot more expensive, but we want the goods, okay? Because when you take a fish oil, our stomach acid actually destroys the oil. If you were just consuming the oil on its own, the oil can go rancid, okay, with the stomach oil mixed up with it. So what the polyphenols and antioxidants do is kind of protects the fish oil so that it can get to where it needs to go and be digested in the small intestine so that we can actually utilize it, okay? And also it's has great protective properties for our cells and everything inside of our bodies. We do need polyphenols and antioxidants, and it's like almost like a double action there. Okay, so another thing I also wanted to make clear, which was brought to my attention, okay, is that balance oil, Zinzino balance oil, is not a separate product compared to fish oil and olive oil. There's two ingredients. We have this fish oil that we have, and we have olive oil, and we blend them together, and then we have a product called balance oil, but it's not a separate product. It's still fish oil and it's still olive oil, but balance oil is not a complete different product to that. I just wanted to make that clear, if that makes sense. Alright, so that is everything. I hope that all makes sense and kind of clarifies the process of how the Zinzino oil is made and processed and excreted, and also, what it's blended with. I think it definitely makes a difference to what else is out there. And again, I don't know if I mentioned this, but we sell things on a more private base, and it's all a person-to-person sales, as opposed to companies out there that have a massive marketing budget that can literally just put out there what they want and manipulate people to think that their product is a high quality product, when what you'll find is every single person who is distributing Zinzino balance oil is an advocate, is a personal user of Zinzino balance oil, and therefore they've got first-hand experience and they share it because they love it. Alright, so I hope that all makes sense, and I hope it helps. Okay, have a great day. Bye. Mwah. Hi guys, my name's Cindy.